As you can see, there's large trees that have come down. And the reason they've come down is he's caused a tremendous amount of erosion into my property. Here you can see some large trees. There's one here, one back over there that had previously fallen. And you can see where his water is drained into my property. I've tried to fill in some of the dirt, but it's just not enough because it's constantly flowing. And during the rainy times, it's a tremendous amount of water. Here you can see two large trees that Mr. Tobias cut down, which is clearly on my property. Here's my house. Here's the tree. There's no confusion that this is my land. Nowhere on his survey does his straight line extend over to my property. And there you can see, looking down, more erosion, more trees falling into the now flowing stream that's he created. You can see all this area was cleared by Mr. Tobias. Again, here's my house, there's my barn. There's no confusion that this is my land. In fact, he asked me if he can cut these two trees down, and I never told him he could, but he did it anyway. There you can see the stake that I had another survey performed about a year ago to show him that he had his fence and his stockpiling of wood and dumping into my area. The line extends from the front of the street on Province Line Road all the way back about another 1,000 feet. Here you can see my property line. It's right along here. Mr. Tobias has got two large sewer pipes directing water into my backyard. You could also see several horses and other animals, goats, chickens, and all that waste from these animals are flowing into my property, into this drainage area that he's created, spreading throughout the area. This has all been cleared by Tobias. Large trees have fallen, and he's cut many of them down to use for his own purposes. Here's a stake dividing my property line. There's a large tree over there. Here's another large tree he's cut down. See several more over there. Gabby! This is the back of my house. You can see my home right there. The stake for dividing the property is over there, the white PVC pipe with the red tape. He's dumped a lot of his trees, shrubs, and other debris into my yard. My property extends back into there. You can see there's another area where there's drainage, but that's a county easement that he also, I believe, has an easement on his property to drain in that back area. There's another tree he's cut down. Here's the start of the trail. And here's an area where he's created more drainage. You can see a pipe over there, just at the edge of his property where my stake is. Here's the trail. Again, here's the back of my house. Here's the bottom of my property. You can see where he's dumped a lot of his debris into my property. You saw the other view. Now this is the view from the bottom looking up, and you'll see another tree up there that's been cut by Tobias. Here's another stump, another large tree over there. Here's all the debris. This is all my property, and he's dumped tons of waste. Another tree. There's another tree up there, a large tree that he's cut down for his firewood. Here's the back corner of my property. You can see there's more trees cut down, more trees that he's dumped, and other debris. My property line goes back into there about another 60 feet or so. Here's some of the trails that he built. Here's another tree cut down. Here's another angle of all the debris he's dumped into my property. I'm standing at the back corner of my property before it drops off and further continues down to the stream. You can see there's a stake that was put in by a surveyor I had about a year ago, and there's the stake. You can see my house, and you can see the Tobias house. You can see that my property line is a straight line all the way to Province Line Road. There's no way it extends back behind my house at any point. That same debris that he has over there is what he dumped into my property. There's a large area that he used to store his firewood. He also cleared this part of my property. You can see there's my house. Again, no confusion. This is not his property. There's his property. There's the stake. He had his fence extending to about here, all the way down to that tree, and then it curved back up where it is now. There's another angle of the huge tree that he cut down, probably bigger than the one over there. He cut it down for his firewood. It's been pushed down into that ditch, and he cut this one down as well. You can see the depth of it. It's probably about 10 to 15 feet deep. You can see the trees falling into the area that he's created as a new. He hardened the base up over there so it wouldn't erode too close to his own property, and then came down here. I'm now on the other side of the Tobias house. You can see there's my barn, the blue structure over there, and I'm now on the other side. This is a large part of the problem of where a lot of the water is coming from. You can see here there's a cement ducting and a sewer pipe, and a lot of water here coming from up there underneath this driveway of the other house. Back under here he made some ducting, and this is where the water dumps out to the left of my barn back over there is where those pipes end up that I showed you in an earlier video. Again, this is the other side of his house. You can see more animals, horses, goats, chickens over there. All that runoff and waste goes into my property and then on elsewhere. Again, all the water from up the hill is coming down through that narrow little man-made canal into that ducting and then dumped into my property along with all the drains from his houses, horse fields, his home, structures. All that water is funneled into my yard between two different pipes. Here's a pretty good picture of the firewood that he stores with all of my trees that he's cut down. I'm now in the front of the Tobias house. Ironically, you can see he's a commercial plumber, fully insured and bonded, and he most certainly understands the legalities of draining water in other people's property. He also has a nice no trespassing sign, but he doesn't honor that on my property. He's also looking for clean fill to raise his land to drain more water into my property. This is Province Line Road. You can see my mailbox on the left-hand side. Here's the front of my property. There's a stake that shows the dividing line. There's my house. There's the Tobias house. My property line goes straight back. My house is set back probably close to 500 feet. Where the pin is straight back from here, no curves in the line, probably over 1,000 feet. Here you can see the side of the Tobias house, and you can see large puddles that end up becoming breeding grounds for mosquitoes. He's draining his sump and other areas from his house, which is right there, to here. It runs all the way back along here. It doesn't flow much. You can see there's probably already mosquitoes breeding in here. Another health hazard besides all his animal waste.